My name is Kate Emily Brindley, and I'm a global advocate and coach for people living with borderline personality disorder or disorder of extreme stress, or whatever the label is for that. And I founded an organisation called Each Person Counts, and we also provide advocacy for survivors of childhood sexual abuse and people experiencing complex PTSD, and consultancy services for institutions on all those topics. Today, the clip that I'm doing is on complex PTSD from surviving to thriving, a guide map for recovering from childhood trauma by Pete Walker is the book. Absolutely brilliant book for people assessed as having complex PTSD or people being diagnosed with BPD that actually have complex PTSD. Absolute must read, written by a psychologist who has healed himself of complex PTSD, and a really important book in my recovery, and one that I really highly recommend to anyone that has complex trauma, has a complex trauma background. I've got here at $7.49 on Kindle. But what he writes is that this book is a practical, user-friendly self-help guide to recovering from the lingering effects of childhood trauma and how to achieve a rich and fulfilling life, which we all can. Borderline personality disorder, complex trauma, they're all fully treatable and recoverable conditions. Childhood sexual abuse, we can heal, we can recover, we can go on to live fulfilling lives. It is possible. None of those experiences are a life sentence. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes energy. Yes, it takes a lot of support. But, it's worth it, and it's possible. And there's always a ray of hope with these experiences. And so the key things in this book, which I'll talk a little bit about, are managing emotional flashbacks, understanding the 4 different types of trauma survivors, differentiating the outer critic from the inner critic, healing the abandonment depression that comes from emotional abandonment and self-abandonment, self-reparenting and reparenting by committee, and deconstructing the hierarchy of self-injuring responses that childhood trauma forces survivors to adopt. And Pete writes, I hope this map will guide you to heal in a way that helps you to become an unflinching source of kindness and compassion for yourself, and that on that journey you will find at least one other human being who will reciprocally care for you in that way. I feel quite moved by that. And it is true that, it just takes one person, one loving person in our lives to reflect back to us that we are worthwhile human beings, and to see the potential in us, and to believe in us, and to have compassion for us. And that is such an important part of recovery from complex trauma, is having loving and supporting relationships in our lives, as many as possible. But all it takes is one person. That person could be a neighbour, or someone at work, or someone at a meetup group that you go to, or someone in a sporting club, anyone that can be a loving, presence in our lives is so important. So for me, I think the thing that I most love about Pete's book is how to deal with emotional and body flashbacks, because that has been, the worst. That is the worst of the worst of the worst, is just the reliving of the trauma over and over again, millions of times over the course of our lives. How can you put it into words? Hell. Absolute hell. And I guess, other people that have emotional and body flashbacks on a daily basis know what it's like. I don't really need to explain. We know about the hell. And Pete Walker's book gives us step-by-step guide on how to deal with that hell. And what I did is that I wrote up kind of my own affirmations based on his book that I stuck up around everywhere, because I would often have body and emotional flashbacks and lose complete sense of time, of I'm reliving something in the past. It feels like it's happening now, and my prefrontal cortex has gone offline. I have no ability to understand that I'm reliving something from the past. It feels real. It feels like it's happening now, and it's overwhelming me, and I'm having a full physiological response, burning up, heart pounding, sweating, shame, terror, dry mouth, and the feeling like the world's caving in on me, utter hell. So what his steps are, I'll take you through that. The first thing that we need to do is, when we start going into that place, we need to say to ourselves straight up and recognize, I'm having a flashback. First step, I'm having a flashback. I'm going back to an earlier time, but it feels like it's happening now. That is the most important step. Often I can go days without consciously in the past realizing I've just been having one long, massive emotional and body flashback, and it was actually to do with my past, and something's triggered it, and I've relived it. So then we say to ourselves, I'm afraid, but I'm not in danger. I have a right to have boundaries in my life, reaffirming what's okay, what's not okay, where we start and where we end, where other people start, where they end, knowing what our boundaries are, and then reassuring our inner child, it's okay now. You're safe now. We have this inner child in us that was deeply hurt and shattered, and being nurturing and kind to that little child in us that survived, and being soft and gentle with that child and reassuring that child that it's okay. This is a natural process in our psyche's healing, that this is happening and we can deal with this. We're here. And my eternity thinking is deconstructed. Well, those flashbacks, God, they feel like they're never going to end. Time takes on a different dimension, and it feels like you're stuck in hell, can't get out, and it's whole mind, body, spirit is just overwhelmed with, this feels like it's going to last forever. This feels unbearable. So we say to ourselves, let's deconstruct this. This isn't actually true. This is going to pass. All emotions and feelings arise and then fall away. It's going to change. This feeling's going to change. It's going to transform. It's going to pass. I'm in my adult body now. I'm having an adult experience. This isn't the past. I'm here now, grounded in my adult body. My body is relaxing and I'm breathing deeply. I'm here now, I'm breathing deeply and I'm relaxing. It's going to be okay. I'm in a safe place and I can feel my fear without reacting to it. So I can feel that terror of my life possibly being over, or people I love's life possibly being over, and know that it's not real, it's a fear, it's not actually happening, and I'm not going to react to it, I'm going to witness it. So stand outside that fear. So yep, I can see I'm feeling terror, I'm feeling fear, but I'm going to just witness it. Just let it come and go. Try and stand outside it. I resist my inner critic catastrophizing and dramatizing, and he talks a lot about the inner critic. It just totally takes over the negative thinking, and I can't go on, this is too much, I've had more than I can handle. What we want to do is just, notice that that's okay. Yep, here comes the inner critic back again. Yep, I've heard this before. I know how this plays out. We're going to ride this out together. It's going to be all right. I stop negative thoughts and I substitute and correct them. These are my adaptations to Pete Walker's book, by the way. I stop negative thoughts and I substitute and correct them. I've done a clip on that with the affirmations. You can check that out. I'm allowed to grieve what I've lost. Well, part of healing from, childhood trauma, all forms of childhood trauma, involves a process of grieving where when we tell our trauma story, we really can say, yeah, this is what happened to me, and as a result, this is the path that my life has taken, and as a result of that, I've missed out on all these things, these normal parts of childhood innocence and delight and wonder and amazement and playful joy and teenage dating, innocent dating, having confidence for that, and being able to be successful, financially and in a career. Yeah, I'm just going to grieve that I missed out on all of that. I missed out on a lot of it, and that's okay. I'm going to feel real sad about that and allow that to be. And my relationships are safe and supportive. Yes, I have safe relationships now. I'm supported now. I have people in my life who love me for who I am, who have compassion for what I've been through in my life. And I'm safe with these people. They're not going to, harm me and abuse me. And I'm grateful for that. I know triggers. I know what my triggers are, and I know which triggers lead to flashbacks, and I avoid them. Watching movies on rape, watching documentaries on rape of children, that's a trigger for me. Right? Completely unnecessary. I'm very comfortable listening to stories with clients where it's real time, real people. There's a healing process, but watching, the death news, all this stuff that is going to bring it up, make me feel dark about it, avoid it. I want uplifting information coming in at me, and then I want to be fully present for my clients. And just knowing what I'm flashing back to, so associating what I'm feeling now in my body, what's this really related to in the past? Let's join the dots here. Let's put the pieces of the puzzle together and connect this in real time and ground in this. I'm feeling this, okay, I can see this is related to my past. And just acknowledging that my recovery process may be slow and I'm patient. Yeah, 20 years, slow. 20 years recovery, and I'm patient with myself around that. And I'll be recovering for the rest of my life, We go through things that, we carry with us. And being kind to ourselves and, acknowledging the milestones and the steps. Wow, I went, 3 or 4 days and I didn't have any type of mood dysregulation. I felt pretty good and stable for a week in a row. Well done. And, just seeing that it is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And having compassion for ourselves and being kind to ourselves and being that kind, unflinching source of kindness and self-compassion for ourselves. It's so important. And Pete Walker is a fantastic role model of that. And if you have been through any type of complex trauma and you can afford to download the Kindle book or go to the library and borrow it, or you can check out his website, to have people that are role models that are professionals and have been through it, they're the real deal. And he's an awesome role model for us and helping many people in the world with his book. So if you feel like that resonates with you, please check it out. Maybe you can come up with your own affirmations after it to deal with emotional and body flashbacks and your inner critic. But check it out and read it if it feels right for you. And if you know anyone that has complex trauma or, deals with these type of body and emotional flashbacks or, really big inner critics, maybe please forward them this link or forward them the link to the book or to Pete Walker's website. So thank you for viewing this clip, and I appreciate it.